Some books are not just a fictional tale that you can just move right past. Some books take almost a week and a half to process. Come back after the intro. Hey guys, Josh here from Working Man Reads. And before we get serious, I do want to say thank you to all the subscribers that I have. I appreciate everyone that shows me love and support on every one of my posts. Feel free to subscribe if you like horror, sci-fi, fantasy, any of the above. And also, you can find me on Instagram at Working Man Reads. I post pretty regularly over there, and I love to give people shout outs and just help the community where I can. Now, that being said, this has kind of been long awaited for me. I've been talking about reading and finishing this book for quite a while. It took me some time to kind of gather my thoughts after this one. This one honestly was the hardest thing that I've read. I cannot recommend this to anybody, but if you do maybe enjoy true crime, or you would like to just be reminded of what mankind and humans are truly capable of, and this book will show you every bit of that. And that is The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum. I did read this for a readathon to be my greatest fear. That was Purgatory Paul's readathon. He has changed his name recently, but I will link it down below. So let's get into it. My overall thoughts. I did not review this one on Goodreads in my traditional fashion, where I give stars based on plot, writing, horror, characters, and overall fun. This one was not fun. I almost DNF'd it, I'd say probably 6 times. I felt physically ill while reading it. If you don't know what The Girl Next Door is about, it is based on a true story. The synopsis on the back is basically 2 sentences, so I will read it on this review. A teenage girl is held captive and brutally tortured by neighborhood children. Based on a true story, this shocking novel reveals the depravity of which we are all capable. And that is the perfect way to introduce this story to you. Do not read this if you are easily triggered by anything that has to do with torture, just horrible, horrible things that were done to a character named Meg, who is actually based on a true person. This is not to be taken lightly. It was a very serious book. All that being said, it is in my top 10, possibly top 15 books of all time. It was drastic. It was an amazing deep dive into a story that should be told, because it is important that we know what is out there. There's things that are scary, like, vampires and werewolves and all that. But to me, the things that are truly terrifying are the people that could be next door. And that goes without, it's the unfortunate truth of the world that we live in. So, you are in the mind of a young man who was friends with Meg when he was younger. He lives with what he witnessed along Meg's journey in this small town. She basically, her parents were killed in a car accident, and she goes to live with a family member. And I don't want to spoil anything, but based on what you read on the back, you know that things do go poorly for this child, and God, is it horrible. So overall plot, and it's based on a true story, so plot is, I don't know how closely Ketchum followed, but it's terrifying. Writing was very good. Jack Ketchum's writing is a 4-star, easy for me. It's palatable. There's some awesome quotes that I will be reading in a little shortly. Dude can write. R.I.P. to Jack Ketchum. I respect the hell out of him, because not many authors would tackle this subject matter and do it tastefully and well to get that story out there, because this person really did go through this, and it's important to get that story out. So horror, this story will live on with me for the rest of my life. I don't know where to go from this. It was honestly, it messed with me, man, because I have a daughter and I have a family, and this was very emotional to read. It is horrifying. I wouldn't wish what happened to this person on anyone. I hope that there is a special place in hell for the lady and the characters that did what they did. So, yeah. Characters, I don't know. I don't want to comment on anything because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's hard to like anybody in this book. Next will be, was it fun? I think you can judge by my demeanor. It was not a fun read at all. It was horrible. But it's a 4-star book, so it was a horrible thing to read, but it was well done, and it is a book that should be read if you can handle it. So that brings me to these quotes. I did enjoy quite a few of these. So this one's from The Girl Next Door. I lay in bed and thought about how easy it was to hurt a person. It didn't have to be physical. All you had to do was take a good hard kick at something they cared about. All right, here's the next one. In the basement with Ruth, I began to learn that anger, hate, fear, and loneliness are all one button awaiting to touch of a single finger to set them blazing toward destruction. Like, it's good writing, but it's terrifying to read. So, yeah. There was even one line, it's not on the Goodreads, like nobody else must have liked it, but there was a line in here where Jack Ketchum writes, the children are not all right. They're most definitely not all right, or something like that, and it stuck with me. It was a relatively quick read. Definitely give it a check out if you made it this long. I appreciate you guys. If anybody ever needs anything, I'm always going to be here. It took me time to wrap my mind around this one. If you heard when Scion and I did our top 20, I briefly touched on this, but I don't ever want to read this book again. He was like, you should watch the movie because it was a good adaptation, but I just maybe in some time. After I finished this one, I definitely wanted to just go hang out with my family. So this is my Goodreads review. I actually enjoyed what I wrote, and I got quite a bit of likes on it, so I assume I captivated how some people felt when they read this book. So I will leave you with this. Thank you for stopping by. This has been Working Man Reads. I actually felt sick while reading this. I had to step away from this book multiple times. It is hard to even put my thoughts on paper right now. I cannot recommend this book to anyone. It is best for you to just pick it up by yourself. As I sit here, I am lost on how I can even talk about this in a video. There is scenes of severe abuse and horrific descriptions of violence. This is based on a true story, and I am left hoping that the people involved have a nice place in hell set aside for them. As the scenes played out, I was actually cussing out loud and almost put the book down 6 times. It is the hardest book I have ever read, not because of Ketchum's writing, but the fact that he went there with this book, and I respect him for telling a story that needs to be told. There is true horror out there. Not werewolves, not vampires, but the family next door has secrets. Humanity has secrets. The children are definitely not all right, Jack. I agree. God damn, that was hard to watch happen. And then I said I need to go watch a Disney movie with my daughter right now. I honestly, that's all that you need to know. The Girl Next Door.